Orleans a bunch of times to play music of James Booker and Professor Longhair. So welcome, Luciano.
It's a pleasure, man. Always a pleasure being around here.
And so let's talk in a few minutes, but let's hear some music. What are we going to play right now?
I'm thinking playing just some improv over the Professor Longhair music, because I say that Professor sometimes, to me, is like one of the guys that lead the music to the funk music, so I try to mix a little bit.
All right, so this is Luciano Leães live at WWOZ FM New Orleans. Boom. Luciano live in the WWOZ studios. Thanks, Luciano, for coming on down. And
Thank you, man.
so how did you first... You're originally from Brazil, is that correct?
Yeah, I'm from Brazil.
So how did you first hear Professor Longhair?
No, I'm from South Brazil, and there we listen a lot of rock and roll. I guess it's the way most of Brazilian musicians that start listening to blues and stuff, they usually come from the rock and roll music. Very early, when I was around 10, 11, I was listening to Chuck Berry, Little Richards, things like this. But then I listened to that piano on Chuck Berry's music, and I wanted to know who was the guy. It was Johnny Johnson. Then I found Lafayette Licks, Otis Spann, all these blues guys. But when I was around 13 years old, I listened to African Gumbo by James Booker and Tip Tina by Professor Longhair. And it blew my mind, and it changed my life completely. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here. So it really changed my life, man.
Those two piano players.
Yeah.
What was it about when you heard Professor Longhair? What was about his playing that just made your world open up?
I think the thing about Professor Longhair is that he kind of created his own world, right? And in his world, the whole world inside this world, but he bring it somewhere else. Like, and for a piano player, I'm sure that all the piano players that listen to Professor Longhair for the first time, it's a twist, like you get like stoned with that music because it's completely different and brings you somewhere else. And I really wanted to learn something about him, know more about him.
So you decided to start coming to New Orleans.
And that's the thing, like this is a funny story. When I was here for the first time, I had this mission that was, I needed to go to Professor Longhair's house. It was much before it was what it is nowadays. But I went there to take a picture. And this lady, she was walking, she looked at me and said, "Do you like my house?" And I said, "I love your house, but I'm here because I heard it's Professor Longhair's house. And she said, I'm Professor Longhair's daughter. It was Pat Bird.
Oh, wow.
And then I met her, and like I knew all these guys. I met Tom Morell. I met Mac. I met everybody. And in some way, it brings me inside, even more inside the music and the universe of New Orleans. That's much more than music. Like to know Professor Longhair, you need to know more about his life, the things that he did, not just the notes, right?
So you think a key to understanding Professor Longhair's music is understanding how he lived here in New Orleans?
Sure. I think music is not just about the notes, but also the feel, the background, the history, cultural things. You need to eat the same food. You need to walk the same street, things like this, right?
Agreed. I think there's something in the water.
Too, yeah.
Definitely drink the water.
Don't forget the water.
All right. You want to play?